Please welcome our next fighter making his way to the cage, Juan Vasquez.
How you doing?
It's Sunday night in Los Angeles, California. Time for another installment of the University of Mixed Martial Arts. I'm Rich Slayton, joined by Donna Gonzalez to call this 146-pound catchweight fight between Juan Vasquez and Vic Rivera, the Blitz.
The Blitz. That's a good name.
Vasquez on his way to the cage right now from Dream Killer Fight Team in Torrance, California.
We like these guys.
Vasquez, 22 years old, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, with a background in kickboxing, wrestling, and submission grappling.
Yeah. Juan had a little bit of a hard time with missing weight today, but he still is ready to fight. He's been competing in BJJ, and he's, like I said before, we had one of his teammates on before, and they've really been working on their mental game. You know, these guys are able to take their losses and learn from them, and he says that what he's going to do is not second guess himself anymore, and that's what he's found that he did in his last fight. So I want to see how he has grown.
If he was second guessing that last fight, I don't know what I was watching, because Juan Vasquez was all over his opponent Juan Orta in that fight. Look tonight to see the big flying techniques. We saw Juan Vasquez throw over and over, maybe 5 or 6 times, this flying switch right kick. And he landed it here and there. But the one big moment that he had early in that fight was he landed that flying switch right kick and then tried to go in, start striking, up against the very, very talented Juan Orta, who then in round 2 and 3 began to pick him apart and stay on the outside. So the key tonight for Juan Vasquez is to stay tight and compact and not go for those big techniques as much.
Absolutely, and I think that's where he's going to show that he's grown. He realized that he's done that in the past, and he wants to overcome that. He told me tonight that his goal is to make Jay Tan happy.
Please welcome his opponent, Victor the Blitz Rivera.
Across from Juan Vasquez tonight is 23-year-old Victor Rivera, fighting with Nubians MMA in Los Angeles, California.
These guys are really interesting. They have a really cool history. Look them up online. Nubian wrestling, apparently, from what their coach taught me tonight, is the world's very first grappling style. Like, literally, they taught the Greeks.
Oh, wow.
I mean, how cool is that, right? So Victor, awesome guy. He's got great cardio. He really wants to keep this striking tonight. He wants to take one. He said he doesn't mind taking one to get 2, and he's looking for a KO. He has been a martial artist since he's 6 years old, has a blue belt in Shotokan Karate. He has a brown belt in a Polynesian self-defense style, and he's been with Nubians for 3 years. He's from Mexico City. He's got great, powerful legs. He's fought in some Muay Thai smokers and been doing Muay Thai for a while. I think he has about 4 wins, and he's coming in with a great team.
This is going to be a really interesting matchup between these two. Victor Rivera loves to take the center of the cage and stalk down his opponent, but at the same time, he has a tendency to be a little flat-footed and bring his hands down to swing heavy. That up against Juan Vasquez, who, like we talked about before, likes to throw those big kicking techniques.
Yeah. Oh, you've got to keep those hands up.
So, but Juan Vasquez, he likes to come forward as well, does not fight as well when he's backing up.
Right.
So you have Victor Rivera, who's so good at taking the center and pushing someone backwards, and Juan Vasquez, who throws techniques that are designed for people who keep their hands low.
Right.
Both these guys kind of play against the defense of the person they're fighting against.
Sure, and so I think that what that means is who's going to be able to take control and remain in control of the fight, because if you have 2 defense styles that negate the other one or mess up the other one, you're going to have to make up for that.
This fight's going to be all about that logo in the center of the cage. You see on the floor there, the University of Mixed Martial Arts logo. My bet tonight is whoever controls that circle controls this fight.
Absolutely.
To get things started, let's go inside the cage with Salvador Arellano.
Our next fight of the evening is brought to you by Paper Depot. Our paper gets the job done. Visit them at paperdepot.biz. Scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a boxing and Muay Thai practitioner. He steps into the cage with a record of no wins and 2 losses. He stands at 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 147 pounds. Representing Dream Killer Fight Team from Torrance, California, Juan Vasquez. And his opponent across across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, a karate and mixed martial arts fighter. He comes to the fight with a record of 1 win and 2 losses, standing at 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighing officially at 145.8 pounds. Fighting with Nubians MMA from South Central Los Angeles by way of Mexico City, Victor the Blitz Rivera. Man in charge of the action, Alan goes.
3 2-minute rounds at 146 pounds. This is the U of MMA. It starts here. Juan Vasquez in the blue corner. Rivera taking the center of the cage, as we talked about.
Early on.
Early fireworks, both guys letting it loose.
Vasquez trying to get that. He was trying to work the clinch, and now he's keeping up against the cage.
And now Rivera back to his favorite position, stalking from the center.
I think
Now
Vasquez needs to get off the cage.
One problem we've seen from Vasquez before is he tends to put his eyes down.
Yeah.
But when he swings inside those punching exchanges, he has to keep his eyes on the opponent.
And he's dropping his hands, which is not something you can do with Rivera.
Hands up. Let's go. Press in there. There you go. Nice.
Vasquez trying to counter-strike it from off the cage here. Rivera controlling the center.
Rivera told me he was looking to put in a lot of pressure on his opponent tonight, and I think that he is actually doing that really well.
Hands up. Over top.
Victor Rivera stalking down, letting loose a flurry. Vasquez trying to counter with kicks.
And he is really utilizing all of that Muay Thai stuff right now. He's kicking, he's punching, he's grabbing him in the clinch.
Rivera letting this loose.
Just coming in bunches.
Heavy punches to the body, to the head, changing levels.
Vasquez is going to need to answer back. I don't think he's getting too hurt, but he's definitely not doing anything to defend it.
Referee looking very close at this fight.
You gotta fight back, Juan.
If Vasquez does not fight back, our referee will stop this.
Absolutely.
Nice body kick from Vasquez. Rivera now inside, hands together.
Takedown. That's going to look really good on the card for Rivera. Excuse me, Vasquez.
You had it right the first time, Rivera.
Did I? You're right. I shouldn't second guess myself, just like Victor said that he wasn't going to.
Just believe in yourself, Donna.
There's too many V's.
You know, I said it before the fight started, and I'm going to hold to it now. Whoever controls the center of this cage controls this fight. And Victor Rivera did what he loves to do. He got in the center of the cage and stalked down Juan Vasquez and put him against the back.
He was able to do that for pretty much the entire round. You know, and I don't think Vasquez, like I said, I don't think he took too much damage, but he wasn't doing enough to answer back. It's not just enough to turtle up and not get hurt. You've got to do something to answer that, and you've got to come back and start making punches and damage yourself, because the name of the game is to win the round, just not survive it.
He's trying to throw those kick techniques as a counter, but it's hard to throw those kick techniques when you're so far on your back foot.
Maybe come in with a little uppercuts, maybe go in for the clinch, but definitely get off the cage.
Well, the big thing for Vasquez right now has got to be lateral movement.
Absolutely.
Get side to side. Don't let Victor Rivera stalk you down and trap you against the cage.
Right.
Well, let's see who takes center stage in round number 2. Will it be the Dream Killer product, Juan Vasquez, or Nubians MMA's Victor Rivera?
Let's go. Let's go, Juan.
And again, notice Vasquez relinquishing center control and Victor Rivera taking over.
Yeah, I think that's something that Vasquez is going to look
that
back
one,
at this fight.
That one caught Rivera in the head.
And he went for that takedown. He's looking to pass right here, and he did it. Now he's in side control, and he's going to stay really heavy on top of Vasquez. But what I was saying is I think Vasquez is going to look back at this fight and see how he is going straight back to that fence and maybe change it for his future fights.
Vasquez does have the ability to throw some big, powerful techniques, but again, when you're backpedaling, there's not a lot of place for power.
Right.
Unless you're throwing jabs as Anderson Silva against Forrest.
I was just thinking about that.
Notice here now, Rivera was looking for that far side Kimura, far side Kimura.
He was, but he did not keep that overhook in, and Vasquez was able to escape. there's not enough time for Vasquez to stay on the ground and try and bait Rivera into coming into his guard. He's got to get up, and he's got to start striking. He's got to start scoring some points.
At some point, a referee will probably stand this one up.
I would say soon.
Ooh, nice up kick from Vasquez.
If I'm Rivera, I'm backing up right now and making him stand up. There he goes.
One of the strangest 30 seconds I've seen here in the MMA cage.
Vasquez needs to do something besides stay on his back right now. I don't see this being a good game plan for him.
A little surprised our referee hasn't stood this one up yet.
I'm really surprised the referee hasn't stood up, and there goes Rivera, what I wanted to see him do earlier. He forced him to stand up, but maybe without enough time. And Vasquez was able to get in a really good kick as soon as he stood up.
Vasquez does have very strong, very nice kicks, but again, if you're not on your feet, you can't really use them that well.
You can, and we don't have time in these 2-minute rounds for you to spend a whole bunch of time on the ground baiting your opponent in. You need to work constantly at all times and be really smart about how you use your time effectively.
Hey, you want to win this fight? Hey, you want to win this fight?
Victor Rivera taking control of the middle one more time. Juan Vasquez definitely showing more in this round than he did in round number 1.
Yes, he did.
He's getting tired. Otherwise, he would have jumped on you when you're on the ground. Straight punches down the pipe. Let your hands go. Move your head and listen to us. We're telling you for a reason. We're seeing what you can't see.
Juan Vasquez, the 22-year-old, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, even matchup in terms of height. You gotta wonder what his team's telling him in that corner. Are they instructing him to keep that back off the cage?
Yeah, I'd love to hear what his coaches just told him.
This is the third and final round.
Use those hands. Give you no crap. Use those hands.
120 seconds left in this third and final round. And one more time, Vasquez backing straight up.
Straight to the cage.
There we go, little lateral movement.
Nice. That's what we wanted to see from him. He did exactly what you wanted to see in the last 2 rounds. But, oh, got the takedown. That was nice. Let's see how he's able to use it.
Big hook misses for Rivera. Juan Vasquez takes advantage. Rivera, though, throwing up a triangle possibility.
Yeah.
But both arms are still inside, though. That's not much yet.
If he has really long legs, he can use what in 10th Planet we call a dead orchard, which is a double triangle or a double armbar. Something new for you.
You know, when I think of a double armbar, I always think of a giant orchard full of dead apples.
It came from the fighter Nathan Orchard.
Ah, there we go. High guard from Victor Rivera.
He is about to get swept.
Keep that arm out. There you go. Stay busy down there. Stay busy. Body head.
Juan Vasquez making his most significant offensive effort so far in this fight.
And
There you go.
50
Rivera
seconds left in the third round.
doing a good job of trying to get his hips out so he can get out from flat underneath his back. There he goes for that sweep. He was able to do it, and now he's in the dominant position utilizing that ground and pound.
And this could be it, folks. If Victor Rivera can pour this one on, our referee looking very, very close.
He's got 30 seconds to do it. Now there's that armbar that's available to him like we talked about in another fight. If he were Ronda Rousey.
If you were Ronda Rousey. And
There
that arm is
it
getting
is.
open there. And look at now, we see Victor Rivera hooking it. Is he going to use that arm?
Or he could use it to work into a rear naked choke, which would still let him stay in the dominant position, and there it is. He got his arm underneath and just wasn't able to keep it underneath the chin. And now
Some last second work here. Juan Vasquez turning in the guard, but that's about it.
oh,
Victor Rivera with a little nasty stare there at
he's
the
still
end.
ready to fight. Oh,
Oh, some complaints
are we
about grabbing
trash
the gloves
talking?
here.
Oh.
You know, the story of this fight, as I called beforehand, was who takes the center of the cage.
You called it.
And Victor Rivera controlled it from bell to bell.
It's like you've done this before.
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
You know, it's like you knew what you were talking about, Rich.
Juan Vasquez, those kicks were very, very good. They were powerful.
When he got up, he landed them immediately.
When he got up and when he wasn't throwing them off of the back foot so much.
Yeah.
When he wasn't backpedaling.
I think that's something that, he's going to need to work on when he watches this tape, and that's exactly what these fights are for, to be able to improve on those things.
The interesting thing about controlling the distance here was that Vasquez seemed to be fairly uncomfortable in the boxing exchanges.
Yeah.
He seemed really excited to kick,
Yeah.
but when it got to boxing distance, that's when you saw him begin to back up, begin to cover up, turtle, and not be able to utilize his offense as much. If you could get the level of Juan's boxing up to the level of his kicking, that could really change his striking game.
Absolutely, and that's something that he's going to have to take back to his coaches. He's been working with Team Victory Muay Thai, and they're really going to have to watch the tape and work on him with that.
Show of respect after the little bit of aggression there at the end.
Well, you got to get the adrenaline out, and then you realize, hey, we're all just here for sport. It's okay.
Our judges conferring, trying to get that final decision.
Vasquez says all he wanted to do was make J-Tan happy.
Juan Vasquez came out, put it all on the line. Victor Rivera, just a little more steady, a little more experienced. Victor the Blitz Rivera from Los Angeles, California, born all the way over in Mexico City.
Good place to be from.
Very good place to be from. One of the greatest cities of North America that I've never been to.
Right? I have. It's beautiful.
One big
Good
change.
food.
One big change we saw in Vic tonight, and I was really excited about that, was in the past he's kind of kept his chin high.
Yeah.
And this time, Vic's chin was much more tucked. He wasn't sort of leading with those pawing hands out.
Yeah.
And especially when we saw the other big aspect he troubled in the past was in the clinch game. And when they did get clinched up here, he was very strong. He was able to maintain position, which is
I agree.
critical.
And he said he'd been working on it. He'd been working on his footwork. He'd been working on his pressure. And I think he was able to bring all of that into the cage with him tonight.
Well, to find out how the judges saw it, let's go inside the cage with Salvador Ariana.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. First judge scores a fight at 30-27. Second judge scores a fight at 30-27.
Amy is the
Third
little
and
one.
final judge scores a fight 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, Victor the Blitz Rivera.
All right, I'm here with the winner, Victor Rivera. Give it up for him, guys. Hey! Victor, you look ready to go a couple more rounds if you had to. How important was it for you to try and get a finish there?
Yeah, it's very important. I was coming off a loss. I try not to let it go to the judges. I try to finish the guy, but he's tough. He can take a hit. My last fight, I took it to the guy, and it went to the judges, and unfortunately, I lost to a biased decision, but I'm trying to look for the finish from now on. I'm not playing games, and yeah, I'm trying to finish this fight.
Looking for the finish indeed. You told us before the fight you weren't afraid to take a couple shots to deliver a couple of your own. How hard were those punches that he was delivering on you?
He landed 1 or 2 overhand rights. He got me with a high kick, but I've been kicked by Dutch style Muay Thai fighters before in the head, so it's something I'm kind of used to.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to thank for your win?
I'd like to thank my coaches, my mom, my dad. My mom, this is the first time she came to watch one of my fights. I've been fighting for a while, so it's great that she came out. And I'd like to dedicate this fight to my grandmother that passed away 2 weeks ago. I missed her. She told me not to let anyone hurt me, and she told me not to hurt anyone too much. But this is a unilateral thing, so only unilateral violence.
Well, I think she'd be very proud. We want to congratulate you on a fantastic win. Give it up for him, Victor Rivera.
And your winner by decision, Victor Rivera.